this video, I'm going to talk about why I sold almost all of my possessions, why I've been living out of a van in Australia, and really what's next for me, what's next for Amazon stuff. There's a lot to unpack in this video. This would be a good one to grab a coffee, sit back, and let's get after it. All right guys, what is up and welcome to Heist. If you've been here on this journey the last couple of years or even watched a handful of videos, you know I talk a lot about Amazon, basically scaling and growing Amazon brands, things I've learned along the way to build my own. And this video is gonna be a little bit different. When I started this channel out, I really had two goals, honestly. One was personal development, try something different, push myself, learn something. And the other was really to help other Amazon sellers, other e-com entrepreneurs, learn from whatever I've been able to pick up along the way. And that's oftentimes, honestly, case studies, deep dive videos, more technical stuff on the Amazon game. But every once in a while, it's kind of the stuff between the years. I used to do a Mental Game Monday series, but every once in a while, I just kind of want to flip this open and frankly get vulnerable about kind of my journey, both building an Amazon business as well as kind of the life experience that comes along with building an Amazon business. And I've had that in spades here the last couple of years. So what is back in October of 2023, I sold almost everything I owned. Talking my Jeep, my Porsche, I had 8 bikes, bunch of clothes, 15 plus years worth of furniture. It took me about 4 months to get rid of it all, but I basically consolidated it down to a small storage unit, and literally everything I own in this world is basically in that storage unit now. I pushed off and I've actually been in Australia for the last 3 months. I'm actually gonna be here only a couple more days. I'm shooting this in Melbourne right now, so I'm at the end of that leg of my journey. But most of my time in Australia was actually in a van, a Fiat Dakota van that I lived in and ripped up the East Coast, mainly in the beach areas of Australia. All right, so second day of van life in Australia, and I figured I would give you the van tour. So I got crazy lucky today, and this is my parking spot. Doesn't always happen this way, but pretty excited. So this is the van. Got a shower. And it's the right-hand side drive. Little kitchenette. Storage. This is the bed, clothes. Pretty sick. So why does a dude that's 41 years old, that spent a life accumulating stuff, building stuff, getting a career going, getting an Amazon business going, buying all those things that normal people buy, why do you get rid of it all? And why would you leave it all behind to travel and live in a dingy van with a suitcase? Well, to answer that question, kind of got to rewind a couple years. So back in, I want to say 2017, 2018, it's really when I finally listened to that nudge. I remember it distinctly. I was working my corporate job. I was looking out one day at the office, beautiful day in Utah, and I literally just wanted to go mountain biking. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously, that's faux pas to leave the office in the middle of an afternoon, even on a nice Friday, and go mountain biking. And I was just like, do I really want to live my life like this for another 30 years? Do I want to be restricted in that way? And it just frankly didn't make sense. I'd had that nudge before, but I finally listened to it, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta at least try and see if I can figure out a path on my own that's different than the one that I've lived, going to school, getting the jobs, doing all the things you're supposed to do. And that was the start of my Amazon journey. Over the next couple of years, I built a brand that I ultimately sold. About a year after that, I started another brand, which is currently one of my bigger brands that's under my umbrella. Started this YouTube channel to kind of share my journey and hopefully help other people. And it all crescendoed in June of 2021 when I sold that first Amazon brand I started. And then again, remembering that afternoon, that Friday afternoon in Utah, looking out the window, the reason I did that was money was part of it, but really it was about the liberation of being able to live life how I wanted to live it. And I'd achieved that. Had the wire come through, talked about it a little bit in some of my exit stories on this channel. And it was really, really surreal and frankly, really special. It was kind of, when you think about something for years, I was working 7 days a week, still had a pretty demanding day job while I was building the business. A lot went into it. People don't see the scars and the bloody noses. Anybody that's run an Amazon business, you guys all know that it's got its moments that are really, really hard. And it all kind of came together, and I unlocked that kind of vision that I had years earlier for how I wanted to change my life, and it happened. And a lot of other amazing things happened. I started the FBA Blueprint course, which was again the culmination of my story here on YouTube in better part, and that was more successful than I ever imagined. Bought the car, bought the stuff, there's the finish line. That's the top of the mountain, everything I saw it. And I don't want to take away from that. This isn't some guy that's found some success in life kind of whining about it. That's not it at all. It was absolutely a beautiful experience. Some of the most beautiful and fulfilling and rewarding accomplishments of my life to do that. But the reason I sold stuff and the reason I'm where I'm at today is the years after that were really, really tough. Haven't talked about this a lot publicly. I'm not going to talk about a lot of the personal stuff, but I went through a whack load of personal stuff that was really challenging. Saw a lot of the money that came in that exit go away. Took my foot off the gas with the existing businesses I had and saw my Amazon brands going down like 40%. And I was on my knees. That's the easiest way to describe it. You know, you go from having everything that you think that you want occur, realizing it didn't bring you all the things that you thought it would, and then having all of that dissolve. And really what dissolved was my identity. You know, I was an Amazon seller. I was a successful Amazon seller. You know, I just turned this camera on to share stories about my experiences on Amazon and hopefully help people. And my business was down 40%. So I'm not that guy that everyone thinks that I am. All the things I bought that I thought would make me happy. All of that journey, I was just, you know, left going, crap. That wasn't the answer. And so that puts you into a really introspective space, and that's really where I've been at here the last 18 months specifically. Good news is I've dug myself out of the 40% downhole. That business has since doubled. I'm feeling actually really, really excited about the Amazon business now. But it really had me question what this all means for me. And I really had to let my ego die. You know, I had identified myself with all those things, those accomplishments, those possessions that I had accumulated, those trophies, so to speak, those life trophies that I accumulated. And I thought those were who I was, and I discovered that they aren't. Being an Amazon seller is something that I do. Talking about stuff on YouTube is something that I do. It's not who I am. And so with that ego death happening, you get left with, okay, what next? Part of that journey for me made me realize is that I've been on a hedonic treadmill. Had a lot of the right intentions, and I'm so glad that I started the Amazon journey. I'm so glad I sold and got to be liberated from the no more corporate job. Really, really happy that that happened. But I was always chasing. It was never enough. Get to $1,000 a day on Amazon, ecstatic, that wasn't enough. Get to 2,000, get to 5,000, get a 7-figure exit, all these things, buy the Porsche GT3, all these things that you think, okay, I gotta do that next, all these external things that I kept on chasing. And it was really a road to nowhere for me. And when I made that discovery, it's like, okay, well, how do I wanna change how I live my life? How do I wanna reformulate things or rethink about my life? And that meant, honestly, I had to let a lot of things go. I had to realize that a lot of the things that make me happy, that make me peaceful, have always been inside of me and always were the whole time and always will be. You know, I believe that everything you ever are or will accomplish is inside of you. You just got to find it. It's not a person outside. It's not a material possession. It's not how well your Amazon business is doing. It's not what people think or say about you. That's not who you are. And so for me, I had to shed that stuff. You know, I had accumulated material possessions I didn't care about. I had a stupid amount of furniture, stupid amount of clothes. Who needs 8 bikes, 2 cars? And so I'm testing a new formula moving forward, and that's why I sold my stuff. For me, it's not about possessions and things and chasing these yard marks anymore. It's about building and creating in the world and kind of revealing those things that are inside of me and that I'm sure are inside of you as well. It's about experiences. It's about moments. It's about human relationships and conversations. I think that that's what matters. I don't think it's the other stuff. It's been scary, you know, doing that again at my age. It's kind of a reinvention, and it's a pretty big change at this stage of my life. But as scary as it's been, and as big of a step into the unknown as it's been really, really freeing. One of my favorite movies, Fight Club, says,
"Things you own end up owning you."
And I was weighed down by all that stuff. I was weighed down by all those ego identity markers. And so now it's about, honestly, enjoying life. I still have goals. I'm still chasing things. I still love building businesses. I still love helping people. That stuff's super rewarding, but I'm not doing it with a specific outcome in mind anymore. I'm doing it because it feels good, because it makes my heart sing. Like that same nudge that made me start an Amazon business, that made me start this channel. I'm just pulling on that thread. I don't know where it's going to go. I know that there's going to be a lot of really, really tough, challenging things that are going to come. I know that there's going to be a lot of beautiful, amazing things that are going to come too. And I just want to enjoy that. that journey and that path. So it's been awesome, man. I've been in Australia for 3 months. It's been a lifelong dream of mine. I was actually going to move here after college, ended up doing that. So I've got to kind of relive that experience and kind of not know what's going to happen aside from the next couple days. And living in a van and kind of deducing my life down to a bag and a really, really small footprint with the shower, no toilet, and just kind of going up the road on the coast and going to another beach and meeting other Amazon sellers, meeting other people, experiencing life, kind of taking in the movie that's unfolding in front of me. It's been really cool. And so I'm going to continue to do that here for the next little while. I will be back in North America here this spring, but I wanted to at least let you guys know kind of my life path and my life journey. I think, just being vulnerable with you, you're always going to have ups and downs in your Amazon business. Don't tie yourselves to them. Things are going really good, or you have an exit, or it's your best month ever, or your best day ever. Enjoy the beauty of that. Enjoy the reward of all the hard work that goes into that. But just like a sunset, it's not going to last. Those bad things that happen too, those clouds are not going to last. And so just taking that step back and realizing who you really are, that you're not your Amazon business, you're not those things that you pursue, you're not your material possessions. It's a fun way to live life, and I'm gonna give that a crack here for the next little while. So beyond that, I'm actually really reinvigorated. I've been quite quiet on this channel really the last 6 months, but honestly the last year my heart really hasn't been in it because I've been trying to figure myself out and figure all this stuff out, and my love and passion and obsession has not been tinkering with Amazon. As I've kind of let the dust settle on all those things I just talked about and reevaluated kind of what gets me excited and what I want to do next in life, I do have that kind of sparkle back, and it's been a lot of fun tinkering in my Amazon businesses. I've been consulting with some really interesting businesses too. Got a bunch of stuff I'm launching, and so expect more of what you would have seen maybe a couple years ago on the Heist channel. I'm gonna really dig in here. Got a lot of time over the next couple of months dedicated to some work projects, and really wanna kind of just put it out there in the world again with no expectations, no thoughts on outcome, and just sharing what I think matters and what I think is gonna help you. And part of that is being vulnerable, admitting that I don't have it all figured out. My Amazon business was down 40%. I felt like I wasn't successful for a lot of the last couple of years when I was struggling with this stuff. But I also want to share that, we all go through this. Most of the Amazon sellers I've talked to here over the last year, I've been at 5 conferences. I've got a lot of my best friends in the world now are Amazon sellers. We all go through those things and those incredible, beautiful high moments and those moments of despair and suffering and struggle. You're not alone in that. I certainly have gone through it too. And so I'll try to share more of that too. I think that I owe it to you guys to do that and be vulnerable in that way, because I think that helps. But beyond that, guys, again, really, really excited. I've got some new keyword stuff I've been tinkering with that I'm going to share here in the next couple of weeks. Got some new brands they're launching. As Amazon changes, I've got some really interesting hypotheses that are basically getting tested out and validated, and I'm going to share a lot of that stuff as I learn about it, because there are quite a number of fundamental shifts and a couple projects I can't talk about yet. I want to kind of wait for them to be baked in the oven first, but those are coming too. Hope you guys like this, even though it wasn't a flash and dash tutorial, it wasn't screenshots, it wasn't a step-by-step, it was just me putting this out in the ether. I know that it's going to speak to somebody out there and hopefully inspire you like some of my more technical stuff has as well. Until the next one, guys, really appreciate you being here. Really appreciate the time, the minutes, the hours that you spend watching my content. Appreciate you caring. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate all the people I've been able to connect with here over the last year. That's been one of the most special moments, man. It's like human beings. That's what it's all about. Relationships with people, sharing ideas, being human with each other. That stuff really does matter. So until the next adventure, the next country, the next video, we'll see you soon, guys. Cheers.